In this video, I'm going to talk about demo website, which is available within Microsoft Copilot Studio. Now, what is a demo website? Demo website is basically a public website which hosts your Copilot or your bot. You can publish your Copilot to the demo website. Now, demo website is basically a platform for you to showcase the Copilot which you have built. Now, it is mainly used for testing purposes. So you cannot use that for production releases or something. You can use it for testing purposes. Think about it like if you're authoring a co-pilot, and say, take for example, you have like three team members who are working on that co-pilot and they have authored this co-pilot. Now, if you want to share it with a wider team, then what you may need to do is like you may need to have uh, uh, additional people added to author the copilot. But if the additional person who will be added into the team are not an author but just a tester, then you need not buy Copilot Studio licenses for them. So what you can do in this interim is that once you are ready with the bot, once your team is ready with the bot, then you can publish that bot to a demo website. Now with that, what happens is that you can share the link with a wider testing team or audiences before go live. Now, there are various things which you can configure, like welcome message, conversation starters, while publishing it to a demo website. Now, demo website is provided by Microsoft. So you do not dictate the domain name of the demo website. Whatever is provided to you will be available as a part of the shared URL. Now, the only disadvantage of demo website is that although it provides you an interface or your team members an interface to access and test the copilot, but this is publicly available. So that means anyone in the internet who gets hold of that URL, they will be able to access your system. Now, when you actually see the URL, once it is published to the demo website, you will see that the URL is segregated into first is the domain name https copilotstudio.preview.microsoft.com or copilotstudio.microsoft.com, and then you will find that there is a segregation from an environment perspective. So the URL will specify what environment does this bot or this bot is hosted in. Okay, and then the next identifier is slash bot slash cr1b1 bf copilot. Now this is a schema name. Okay, so this is the schema name for my bot. So the schema name and the environment id together composes the url for the bot which is published in the demo website. And then there are other query string, like enable file attachment or canvas, but that doesn't really identifies the copilot which you have built. Now, in order to enable the channel, so demo website is one of the channel once you publish your copilot. Okay. Now, by default, the channel is not available because by default, in the from an authentication setting perspective, when you provision a copilot, you will find that it is either authenticate with Microsoft or authenticate manually option set as by default. But I believe uh, the default setting is authenticate with Microsoft. Now if we choose an option of no authentication, now no authentication means your bot will not be authenticating against any authentication provider. That means it can be made available in any channel. So however, the disadvantage is you will not be able to capture the authentication information. Now if that is the case, if you have set your bot as authentication as no authentication, then you will be able to use the demo website. Now, before you make that change, the system will prompt you that you are making this change. So that means selecting no authentication means that anyone with access to the Copilot will be able to use it without having to sign in to the Copilot. Now, authentication variable. So think about it like if you have built a bot and then you might have used authentication with Microsoft, and then you might have used some sort of an authentication variable. Now, those variables will all will be rendered useless. Okay, so you will not be able to use authentication variable, as currently you have set the authentication as no authentication. So the prerequisite for setting up to the demo website, publishing the Copilot to a demo website, is that it should be no authentication. Now, there is another facility or a feature, I would say, named as web channel security. Now, in web channel security, there is an option for secured access. Okay. Now, if you closely read the statement, it says enabling this renders the demo website unavailable, as well as any direct channel not using a secret or token. So that means if you are using this web channel security feature for your Copilot, then if you enable the secured access, then you will not be able to use the demo channel. So this is just like some sort of a guideline. If once you start using demo website, these are some of the things which will either enable or disable the demo website channels. Now, there is a welcome message and conversation starters. So when you publish into the demo website, it asks you a lot of things. It will ask you to put in the welcome message and the conversation starters if there are any, so that users can directly click on the conversation starters to initiate the transaction. Okay, and this is how the demo website looks like. Okay, so it's a Microsoft hosted environment, and it will show you the bot in the, I would say, in the almost on the right hand side. And then from here, your user can start testing the bot, and then start providing responses, start providing the prompts, and then try to see whether the Copilot gives you response back, and if the response is precise or not. Okay, so that's it about a demo website. So let's jump into the demo. So let me go into, say, Microsoft Copilot Studio. So let me create a bot first. Okay, so if I click on create, then I can either create a new Copilot, I can create a new Copilot action, or maybe I can create it from a template. Okay, so if I create a new Copilot, then the screen will come up, which will ask me to type in an instruction to build a Copilot. So I'll say build a Copilot for help desk system for my for Girish IT services, providing services for Windows based laptops. Okay, so this is just like a fictitious company. So I'm just providing an instruction. I'm telling you that I want to build a Copilot for help desk system for some organization. And it says, okay, thank you for the information. Your Copilot will assist user with a help desk system, providing support for Windows-based laptops. Could you please provide more details on how the Copilot will assist the user? Assist users in troubleshooting, installation, and configuration of hardware and software. So if I provide this instruction to Copilot, then I think Copilot should be able to create this system. So it says, okay, great. Your Copilot will assist users in troubleshooting, installation, and configuration of hardware and software. And I'd say, okay, now it's all good. Let me click on create. So once I click on create, it will start setting up the Copilot. Now, remember, we haven't made any setting with regards to the channel. We have not made any setting with regards to publishing, so it has come up with a name like Copilot over here. So if the screen loads up, you will see that the details, the name is coming as Copilot, description and instructions are loading. So it will slowly start populating it into the default template, and try to uh, put in the information which we have provided as a prompt while provisioning this Copilot. So it might take a couple of minutes more. Now it has already done that. It has put the description, it has put the instructions as well. So what I'm going to do, gonna click on edit. Okay, so I'm going to name this as Girish ID services. Okay, and then I'm okay with the icon, so I'll just keep the icon as it is, and I'll click on save. Now I'm not going to make any change to the Copilot. Whatever is available, I will just use it. Now here, if you see, on the right hand side there is an option for you to test the copilot. Now this testing can be done only by the people who are authoring this copilot. So take for example, if I'm the author, and if I share this copilot with Alex and Adele, then that two team members will be able to test the copilot over here. But think about it, like if I have a 100 people team, and if all those 100 people do not have a Copilot Studio license, then they will not be able to test the Copilot. So, in order for me to test the Copilot, what I'm going to do, I'm going to publish this Copilot into a demo website. Now, my Copilot is ready. What I'm going to do, I'll just click on channels and I'll try to publish into a demo website. Now, if you see here, it says like this demo website is disabled. Now, why it is disabled? Because you have chosen Teams authentication. Only Teams channel is available. Now, I didn't select any authentication, so I can click go to authentication settings from here. So if I go to authentication settings, so I'm basically navigating to the security section from the settings page. Now, if you do not want to go from there, you can just cancel this out, and I'll show you another way to navigate. So if you want to get into that same screen, just click on settings over here. So if I click on settings and if I click on security, I'll be landing in the same page. Now, from a security perspective, if I click on authentication, then you might see that this by default it is authenticate with Microsoft. Okay. Now, either we can select authenticate manually or no authentication. Now in our case we are demonstrating it to be published the copilot on the demo website, then we need to use no authentication. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select no authentication and then I'll click on save. Now once I save this, it is prompting me this message. It says, so let's read this message one by one. It says selecting no authentication means that anyone with access to the copilot will be able to use it without having to sign in. So that means for your copilot to work, you need not have a authenticated user. Okay, anyone by just accessing the URL can access the copilot and then they will be able to interact with the copilot. So I'm okay with it. Now, if you're not okay with it, then do not use this because this is publicly available and anyone can see your copilot or access your data indirectly. Now, if you're comfortable, then you can use this option. Now, second thing, authentication variables are not available for use in topics. Now, as you are not authenticating in this copilot, then there is no point in having the authentication variable. Now, think about it. If you have made a decision to first use the authenticate with Microsoft, and if you may have used authentication variables, and now you have decided that I do not want to use authentication variable, and you have selected no authentication option, then the authentication variable which is currently used within your copilot will be rendered useless and it will become unknown. Okay, so that's statement number 3. So it says any authentication variable used will become unknown. Now, the fourth option which says you can't show the Copilot to colleagues in Teams App Store because the Copilot is not using Azure AD authentication. So that means you have to either select the channel of publishing into a demo website or onto a Teams channel. Now, you cannot use the no authentication section or no authentication method using the Teams App Store. So that's it. If I'm good with it, I'll just click on save. Now, once it is saved, this information will persist. And then it says authentication settings saved, publish your copilot for the changes to take effect. So I'll just close this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to exit from the settings. And with this copilot, what I'm going to do, the next step is I'll click on publish. Okay, so I'll just close this testing section and I'll click on publish. Now, once it is published, we should be able to see it across multiple channels. Now, we are just publishing it, so we haven't published into a demo website. Okay, so this copilot is just getting published. So that means this copilot will get it will the data, the backend code will get compiled, and then we'll have a published version of the copilot instance. And what I'm going to do, once it is published, I will navigate to the channel section, and then once I reach the channel section, I should be able to see the demo website section lighted up, unlike the last time. So if I click on channels over here, I can see that earlier there were only Teams which was lighted. Now every option is lighted. So that means if you have no authentication for your bot, then you can basically publish it into any of the channel. But the channel which we are currently focusing on is a demo website. Okay. Now remember two things. There are two things over here: demo website and custom website. So if you are okay with your Copilot to be accessible in the internet and anyone can access it, then make use of demo website. However, if you want to make it a bit secure, I would say, although this will be published in the internet as well, then you can make use of custom website. So what you can do, if you do not want this website to be accessible with by multiple parties, then you can have some sort of a page created within your custom website, and then you can put some sort of a code authentication or something within the website, which will just act as a doorkeeper for the request. Now, in our case, we are going to use the demo website. So I'm just click on demo website. Now, once you select demo website, it will ask you a lot of things. Okay. Now, the first one is a welcome message. Introduce your Copilot and its purpose to your team members. Now, the welcome message is like, it is not mandatory. If we want to put, we can put. So what I'm going to do, I'll just say welcome to Girish Brisbane IT services. Okay. Now I'll show you where it gets rendered within the demo website. So we'll just put some placeholder text. Now the conversation starters over here is like hello, start over, talk to a person. Now based on the prompts or based on the common trigger phrases, we can put the text over here in a separate line. So maybe I'll just put good day. Okay. And I'll just search store locations, and I can put and I'll just put office timings or something like that. Anything which we have already created. So if the system understand the trigger phrases correctly, then it will act as a shortcut for you to ask the Copilot. Now, once it is done, what you can do, you can click on save over here. So I'll just click on save. Now this particular record will get saved. This is the channel was saved. Now, in order to access your demo website, what you need to do is like you need to click on this URL, or you just copy this URL. So it is copied to the clipboard. And now I'm going to paste this. So if I load this demo website, you can see this demo website is now getting loaded. So our Copilot is now getting rendered. You will see a couple of things over here: the name of the Copilot, which is Girish IT Services, and the welcome text which we have put, welcome to Girish Brisbane IT Services. So it has come over here. And also these are some ready-made buttons which are made available for the bot. Now here you can put n number of button, and one of the Copilot I put around 10 to 15 buttons over here, and it worked perfectly fine. So this is just like a shortcut, like now if you see this bot, the Copilot, basically what it does is like it will first give you a welcome message. It says hello, I'm someone, a virtual assistant. Just so you're aware, I sometimes use AI to answer your question. So it is just giving me some introduction. If you provided a website during creation, try asking me about it. So even we can change this message as well. But as this is just like a sample demo for publishing on the demo website, I'm not making any changes to the Copilot. So what I'm going to do, instead of just typing over here, what I'm going to do is like I'll just select the button over here. If I select the button over here, automatically that text will go over here. Now, if you see over here, it has recognized this in a double quotes, right? And it is just, you know, giving you some generic responses. Okay. Now, if I click on search store locations, I just type search store location. So it will say, to clarify, did you mean something? Okay. Now, why it has not recognized is because we have put double quotes along with it. So let's go back into the bot and remove the double quotes. Okay, so we do not want double quotes, so I'll just remove the double quotes and I'll just put the text one after another, and I'll click on save. Now after saving, you can publish as well. uh, so I'll just publish it, and here I will just do a refresh. Now once I do a refresh, you see the double quotes is gone. And now let me reset the bot. So I can see that the bot is not reset. So in that case, what I can do, I'll just do a hard refresh. Okay, so I'll just do empty cache and hard refresh. and now it will start loading the bot. Let me again refresh it. Okay. So let me use another browser. So let me use another tab. So just to show you how can I access another tab as well, another profile as well. Okay. So let me use this profile. So let me paste this so that now if I'm using another profile, that means I'm another user, or maybe I'm accessing it from a different computer. So anyone in the internet who has this URL can access it. Now it has given me all the welcome thing. So if I click on Gray, then it will uh, ask me how can I assist today. Then if I type in search store locations, so then it will say to clarify, did you mean something? Now for store locations are coming up from some topic. Okay, so I'll select lesson 3 topic, and then the lesson 3 topic was by default related to orders. Okay. Now that's why it is telling me I'm happy to help you place your order. But we haven't modified the bot over here or the Copilot, and that's why I'm not going to make any changes over here. So we are okay with whatever response you get. So here, if I type in office timings or if I select this button, I will be getting more responses. And if I say um, maybe California, and let's see, it will again ask me some more question, and I'll say laptop, computer, and then like it will just start responding. Now this is how you basically use the demo website for publishing your Copilot. Now there are other things which you can do over here, is like you can learn more about Copilot Studio. If you want to navigate to various other sites from Microsoft, you can navigate by clicking over here. There are legal, privacy, and cookies information, the pages which are by default provided by Microsoft. So these all things already exist over here. Now, if you closely watch the URL, as I mentioned to you, this URL will comprise of a lot of things. So copilotstudio.preview.microsoft.com or copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Then it will have an environment. Then this is the bot schema name, and these all information will be used to identify the bot. Now the schema name which you see over here, now how, if you want to know the schema name of your bot, then how do you go ahead and find that out? So you can navigate to your bot. So if this is your bot, you can go into the settings, and then in the settings, if you go to advanced, and in the advanced, you will see the schema name of the bot. So that is CR1BF, starts with that. So I'll just show you this one, and this one will match this value. So like this, you will be able to see how the bot demo website URL is comprised of, and then you can basically go ahead and customize your bot as per your need, and then start sharing it with different team members. Now, in the initial, like when I started this conversation, I mentioned to you that if you want to share this bot with say 50 people within your team, and if all the 50 team members have the licenses, then you can basically share your bot directly. But in most of the case, you will not be having a license, the Copilot Studio license for all the testers. So in that case, publishing it to a demo website is a wise option. Now if you are not happy with sharing the demo website, sharing your Copilot into the demo website, then the other option is to use custom website. So that's it, folks. This is all about publishing your Copilot to demo website. Thanks for watching.